Welcome back. I'm Brittany. For those of you that are new, I want to share my day with you today. We have been out of our routine for a bit now, so I'm going to share some tips about how we get back on track, and I also want to share an Azure Standard haul with you, so stay tuned. Good morning, guys. I am going to take you along for our day today. We have a lot to get done. It's been a crazy few weeks and I'm just ready for some normalcy again. Let the chickens out. We've been letting them kind of free range. We did that a lot before and just got sick of the chicken poop everywhere. So we've kind of been them up in the back, but then they got out the other day and I just remembered how much they love it. And I love that they come and follow me. So something that I think can be super helpful as a homemaker is having some sort of routine. Now that routine doesn't have to be super strenuous, or I mean, it can be as loose as you want it to be, whatever works for you personally, but a routine is going to be super helpful. And we are used to that. I'm used to getting up early, having a little bit of my mornings to myself to accomplish some things that I like to get done before my kids get up and just set the tone for the day. And the last couple weeks we have been sick and my husband's been off work some, and we've had a lot of personal things going on, and I have not had my routine, and my goodness, I have felt it because things have not been accomplished. I have not had the motivation to cook much, and my house feels like a disaster. Today I got up early. My husband's back to work. Bless his heart, he is still sick, so he's working through that, but we are back to our normal routine, and I'm going to try to accomplish as much as I can that is reasonable to expect for myself in a day. So we're going to see what we can accomplish. I am going to get an Azure Standard haul today. I want to share that with you guys in case you haven't done Azure Standard yet. We love it, and it's been, let's see, a couple months since I've gotten an order. Several things didn't ship on my order, so that's a bummer, but I'll show you what I got and show you the process. An overly simple tip for you: before you do such errands, make sure your kids are fed. Having well-fed kids, including yourself actually, make sure you've got a snack on your belly. Definitely can help you stay on budget, stay on task, and do things much more pleasantly than if everyone's hangry. We arrived a few minutes early because there has been construction outside of our neighborhood, so we had to forego the coffee run for afterwards so that we could be on time. So what happens with Azure Standard pickups, I'll show you. There is a big semi-truck right there, and everybody helps unload. I usually don't help unload because I got all my kids with me. They lay everything out with your name on. Mine's a pretty small drop, but there's drops all over the US, so you will probably have one in your area if you're interested. All right, just one box this time. They package things differently at the warehouse, and so they got it all in one box. Like I said, they didn't have my raw cheddar that we love and adore, so we'll have to get that next month, hopefully, and stock up, because that's pretty much the only cheese we use. So we just did our next stop, and I got friendship bread. I'm so excited. Haven't had this since I was a kid, and I loved it and have not had any since, and so I've been wanting some. So I finally had someone that was giving me some, so I just got that, and we are going to head and get a little coffee and then head home and go on about our day. So here's the friendship bread. However, I am not positive if it is at the point where I bake it or not. So, I think we're supposed to start from the beginning. So I was kind of like imagining having this today, but I don't think that's happening. So I think we start now, because this is like the starter. Okay, let's see what we got here. Because I do these orders, you can add to your order and then check out right away so that you get the most things in your box. Have the most, like the best chance of getting the things that you've ordered before they sell out. If you complete your checkout, like you fill your cart up, complete your checkout, and then you can always add to your order throughout the month before the cutoff date. So what I try to do is, like, today or tomorrow, I will add whatever I need for the next month. But normally what I would do is I would go ahead and start my order for next month, check out for the things that I need. Once we get stocked up, like I said, I don't need things every month, but I order probably like bulk items every 3 months or so. Like I always get our oats through them. And I would say in like a couple more months, I'll need oats again, and I get our cheese. So I have some stuff like that, but we were running out of some of those things because I don't want to necessarily have to do this massive haul. So I try to kind of space out what I'm stocking up on. So like for this month, I needed to stock up on our favorite pasta. This is Jovial einkorn pasta. And we don't have pasta too much, and I really like making it homemade, sourdough, but when we're trying to like not go out to eat or something, this is something that I will pull out as a convenience meal. I get the pack of 3 for this. So something else I got, I'm trying to slowly replace my pots and pans that are like aluminum and are in like really rough shape. Stainless steel, at least through Azure, is not like super duper cheap. It's not bad, but it's still not something I necessarily want to just go buy, replace everything, you know. So we're doing it little by little. I wanted a pie pan. I got a cake pan, a couple cake pans. And I've been making a lot more pies nowadays, and I have one glass dish that's a pie dish. So I wanted a couple of those so that when I make like a beef pot pie or something and want to use some of the extra pie crust for a dessert pie, I now have enough dishes to do so. So I got 2 of those. I had mentioned in my last Ollie haul that we were out of our rice. So this is what I get. This is an organic jasmine rice. That's what we get in the 5-pound bag, and that will get us through a while. We've actually been eating more rice than we normally do. I think because of soup season. A lot of times I will add in a cup of rice to kind of thicken a soup and to make it go farther, which is a cool trick for soup season if you're having a lot of soups too. It just makes it a little bit more hearty, especially if you've got a pretty brothy soup going and you don't necessarily want to get like a roux going to make it creamy. You can just throw some rice in. Goes farther, makes it more kid-friendly to me. Broth is kind of hard for my kids, at least, to eat. So when the rice kind of soaks some of that up, it just makes it more of something that they're interested in. So got pasta, rice, dishes. I get our mustard through there. This is kind of funny. I mean, it is organic, so that's good. But I actually get this because I shop at Aldi so much, and the only mustard that they offer is like this huge container. And I hate the huge container. So I spend more and get a smaller container. It is organic, but I really just do it kind of because it's a smaller container. That's just horrible to admit. Don't do that if you're on a budget, which we are, but I do it anyway. All right, and then dried cranberries. It is really something good that I enjoy giving my kids. It's a quick snack that they can access. And dried fruit in the store just has a lot of extra stuff in it, which I'm not like, these aren't the best actually. We don't like sunflower oil. But other than that, it's just sweetened with apple and apple juice concentrate. So it's not too bad. I feel fine with giving it to our kids and adding it into granola or into oatmeal. We do it in yogurt. They love it. These are probably the best cranberries I've ever had as far as dried fruit goes. You have dried fruit in like regular stores and packaging, and you're like, oh, okay. And then you have dried fruit like from a good source like this, and you realize how much softer it can be. So we love these. And then these raisins are the last thing I have. And we love these and the flame raisins. They're like flame something. But I didn't know that raisins could taste so good. If you don't like raisins, you need to try these because these are out of this world delicious. Yeah, it makes it really hard to ever have a raisin from like Walmart or Aldi again because these are so good. I don't know if it's because they're organic or if it's the particular type of grape. I have no idea, but they are delightful. And this would be a good buy. This is the 5-pound bag because we actually go through them that much. Because I add them to, you know, their oatmeal, their granola as just a snack, you know, with some crackers and some cheese or something like that. So we use these quite a bit. And it's a whole bunch better deal to get them through Azure in bulk than to do some at like Kroger or something. For us it's Kroger, that has like some of the nicer ingredient options, but this is a better quality and a better deal for us. So that's what I have for my Azure Standard haul. Just show a picture of like everything. That always looks cool. So I feel like if you've never shopped Azure Standard and you're new to shopping for organic quality ingredients or whole foods, you will probably look at the prices and think, lady, you're crazy. That's a lot of money to spend on dried fruit. And I know where you're coming from. I understand. But I would also like to encourage you to figure out how much you are spending on convenient foods already. Bags of chips or, you know, granola bars, these different like Nutri-Grain bars or something. And look at the nutritional content. See what you're getting out of those items. Is there much protein in them? Is it mostly chemicals? When you start adding up your bills, you're spending a lot more on that than you think and not getting much in return. It tastes good and it might satisfy your kiddos for a few minutes, but then they're going to want another package good, or they're still going to be hungry and they might want something, you know, good, but then you've just wasted that money to not actually fill your children. It's just kind of like filling a space in their lunchbox, but not really filling their bellies. So when you break it down to how much nutrition and calories and like a balanced macronutrient profile, how much you're actually getting for that. How much more expensive is it really to buy whole foods? We don't buy organic everything. We couldn't afford it at this point. But I try to utilize the Dirty Dozen. Dirty Dozen and the Clean 15 or something. I don't know, there's two of them. I'll have to link them. But there's certain things that aren't as beneficial to buy organic, and there's other things that are very beneficial to buy organic. So just encouraging you to kind of look into what you're spending, and when you think you're getting coupons and, you know, getting great deals on these items, but then your kids are still hungry afterwards and still need to be fed, is it really going anywhere? So you may just think I'm trying to justify my cranberries, and maybe I am, but I know that when I add these to oatmeal or yogurt, I do like crackers and cheese with them or something like that, my kids aren't hungry afterwards. Like, they're happy for a while. Now, they might ask for more because they taste delicious, like who wouldn't, but they're not hungry, and I can tell the difference. Just something to consider when you are trying to make that transition to better quality foods, to feel like more upfront, like you're getting whole foods for your money. I have to show you my little corner over here. It's so pretty. I've got my little rosemary bush that I got for the little DIY Christmas gifts that I have in the last video. I'll link that because they're awesome. Love it. And then I don't know if you guys ever shop the clearance section for flowers. And yes, I want a cut garden someday. Would love to say that these were all mine, but they are most definitely not, and especially not this time of year. But I have continued to be impressed with our Kroger clearance section. Like, these were on clearance, guys. They're $2.50. And they're so pretty. And they don't look like dead at all. So my husband has been banned from paying full price on flowers. He thinks he's the luckiest guy in the world. Because I'm like, please don't spend all that money on flowers when you can spend $2.50 and get these. I don't care. Let's keep money in the bank. And then smelling my rosemary next to it, it's just so nice. It makes me happy. Okay, things have not been as productive as I hoped, but it is lunchtime. My kids are hungry, so I'm gonna throw together a little peanut butter and jelly. We do that on occasion. But I make sourdough English muffins. I will put the recipe in the description. I like using those when I don't get around to making loaf bread, because I can just throw the ingredients in the bowl the night before and they're ready to bake the next day, and they don't take that much time. It's it's like 15 to 20 minutes of it just sitting on the stove. So it's not active time that I'm working on it. I just go through different phases. I'll do loaves of bread for several weeks, and then I'll get on an English muffin kick. But I do have an update on the friendship bread I got with the lady that gave it to me, and she says you can either grow it to be able to share with other people, or you can bake it today. I think I'm gonna grow it. I think I want to keep it going for a while. She had hers in the freezer for many years, she said, and she just brings it out every Christmas, grows it, and then gives it to people, or she will gift it to coworkers or neighbors or something. So I think I'm gonna do it. So I'm gonna do that. I'm excited. Although I really wanted to have some friendship bread today, but we'll hold out. It's gonna be better. It's gonna be good. We're gonna do it, and then I'm gonna share some, and I'm gonna cook some. And we might just keep this going all year. I don't know. I love the idea of friendship bread year round. I'm really on board with that. Something else that helps me when I am trying to have a fairly productive day is to get dinner started early on and try to get that complete so that I don't have to worry about that at dinner time, because a lot of times I will get a lot done at nap time, and that, the end of nap time leads right into dinner time and bedtime and all that. So if I already have that out of the way, then I can kind of keep the momentum and just keep going. So I am trying to think about right now what I should make. I have some sourdough noodles, and I have beef that's already thawed. So I'm thinking I might get some meatballs in the crock pot with a sauce of some sort, and then serve that over the cooked noodles. The bulk of the meal is done, and all I have to do is boil some noodles, which fresh noodles, they cook so quickly. It's no big deal at all. So I think that's what we'll do. All right, we're going out to check for eggs. This is still a favorite of all of ours. We've had chickens for going on a year now. But still exciting to see if we have any surprises for us. All right.
We only got one egg today.
They have slowed down laying quite a bit, but we still get eggs, and we just have learned to use them less. We had one this morning that actually laid while she was on the perch. So of course the egg cracked. I'm like, girls, you've been doing this for how long now? If you're not going to use your rice right away, make sure you freeze it for a few days, and that allows anything inside, keep it at that, to die, and then you don't have little bugs in your rice. So it ended up actually working out really well, but I got this meal going early on in the day, even though it was a little later than planned, because we ended up having several errands to run this evening. And had we not gotten this started earlier, it more than likely would have resulted in takeout and not really something that is good for our bodies or something that we preferred putting in our bodies. So it worked out really well. I just went ahead and got my ingredients together here. I'm going to do some mushrooms in the bottom. I'm going to saute the onions and garlic and some breadcrumbs in a pan just to give it a little extra flavor. Combine that for the meatballs, add an egg, get those going, and turned out just fine. It was not the best thing I've ever made or anything like that, but it did fill our bellies. We enjoyed it, and it was great to have that handy. And then here I actually almost forgot to eat lunch, which, my word, if you had told me before children that I would ever almost forget to have lunch, I would have thought you were crazy, because I love my food. But it's funny how becoming a mom and becoming a homemaker and having all of these extra little things on your plate, you really can forget to have lunch, and it's not a good thing. It doesn't make me a happy mom, and it certainly doesn't make me productive. And these breadcrumbs I actually made with English muffins that we had left over. These were starting to get stale. They were not the same ones that we had for lunch. These just got a little extra toasty, so they made perfect breadcrumbs. So this is what I'm doing. I'm putting mushrooms in the bottom, and then I have my toasted breadcrumbs and garlic and onion, kind of like the cheater way to do it. And then I'm gonna add that to my beef and pour this over top, add some seasonings, and we're just gonna let it go for a while. I'm not going to saute my meat beforehand, I don't think. They won't be as flavorful, but I think it'll still be okay because we're gonna have lots of flavor in the sauce. So I'm just going to make sure and put it on high because I'm getting this started a lot later than planned. the noodles right here. So I made these the other day. I just kind of like douse them in flour and it just keeps them from sticking. And then I will boil them when it is time to eat, and it won't take long at all. And we'll serve them under the saucy meatballs. All right, so here's what we got. Some meatballs in there. I do not have that many eggs, so I just used one egg. So they're holding together fine, but they may not hold their full little shape, but it's okay, we'll eat it anyway. Tastes just as good. I don't have a ton of beef broth left, so I'm just going to add some bone broth into this. I made yesterday, so just finish that up. I just want plenty of sauce to add to the noodle.
So ever since we got our first frost, actually a little bit after that, because these didn't freeze until probably our second or third frost. So ever since then, I've been needing to cut down this lantana. It gets crazy large and full of flowers, but it looks terrible now because it is dead for the season. So it took quite a while. They kind of have like little prickly things in them, so I had to go piece by piece to kind of get down to the base of it, and they will come back beautiful next year.
Okay, so not a fail, but definitely needed time to thicken, because actually after tomorrow, like for leftovers, this will probably be perfect because it'll still be creamy, but it won't be so brothy. So it's just kind of, it's too soupy. But it's time for dinner and we don't have time to let it thicken like it will naturally, but since it's in the crock pot, like you just couldn't really thicken it. But flavor is great and we will be just fine with this. So I next time would probably just add a roux instead of trying to do the arrowroot powder and cream, and I also added some sour cream to it too. So we'll still feed bellies. So just now getting back to editing this video and realized I did not close it out. So thank you for coming today, guys. And if you enjoyed this content, I would love it if you would show your thanks and appreciation by liking and subscribing if you haven't already. And I have more content coming for you guys. Some exciting stuff has been going on in the background, and I can't share just yet, but we're getting super close. And I just want to share more of that with you guys coming up. So make sure you like and subscribe so that you will be notified when I have a new video out. So I'll see you next time, guys. Thanks.